Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. I have a special message for you today, as today I'm celebrating my birthday and I felt inspired to give you just a quick but to me really important reminder, because so often I see people getting lost in that distraction of ego mind. And what is ego mind? Ego mind is that voice which is giving us reasons to be afraid. It will always give us all kinds of reasons why we should be afraid, while the heart will only give us reasons why we should be grateful. So we may recognize both are guiding us, but the ending destinations are different. And I've learned in my life, if I choose that gentle voice of the heart, I will always find more reasons or more things to be grateful for. And as I'm raising the gratitude for little tiny things, I experience that sense of joy. I experience that sense of inspiration, like a rise of energy within my body, and suddenly I feel more productive, and suddenly I feel more creative, and suddenly I feel like I want to do something with that new energy. And suddenly I start doing something with that new energy. I write something, or I draw something, or I go to paint something, or I film a video, and suddenly I experience more joy. And when we take action with joy, we fall in love with doing that. And when we do something we love, with a greater degree of love and joy, we experience the energy we call passion. So passion is something that is driving us to do more of what we love to do. And as I'm celebrating my special day today, the day I was born, to me it is a beautiful reminder. Well, this is the day I came here to this planet, and it's a humble moment of reflection of the things I did until now, the joy I've experienced until now, the sadness I've experienced till now, all the fears that I came through, all the fears I've experienced, the anger, the frustrations, the blissfulness, the love, the happiness, all those emotional sensations that are happening within our bodies, and feelings and connections we create, and relationships, and then all that beautiful community here. So I have this moment of reflection, and as I mentioned, this ego mind, which is pulling us out of that state of reflection into a state of protection. It is to me right now a beautiful time to talk with you a little bit about all that happening, because sometimes we just forget to reflect our lives, and I'm using this special opportunity to share my insights and thoughts with you today. With there's like over 300,000 people here, and I can't express how grateful I am for all of you. But as we're talking about this reflection and those internal sensations that are always happening, and that beauty of being a human and having that opportunity to feel the emotions, to feel how it feels like to be a human, because sometimes through my meditations I experience that sense of nothingness, like not sensing any kind of emotional sensation rather than just peace and harmony. But then I'm thinking, like, how our lives would be if we would not have also the slower emotions of fear and anger and frustrations and sadness and sense of separation. Because in this void of polarity, because of the sensations, we are able to appreciate connection even more. We are able to appreciate relationships even more. We are able to appreciate fallings even more, because that's where we find out, well, it's time to rise once again, well, it's time to awaken once again, well, it's time to grow once again, well, it's time to experience what else life has to offer once again. And all that reflection gives me a beautiful sensation of clarity, that life is not so complicated as we make it. And sometimes we fall into that psychological trap of understanding everything. I need to understand my patterns. I need to understand why I feel sad. I need to, understand how to be happier. But what we actually need to do is just to recognize that we are already happy. We are already in peace with ourselves. We are already enough. We are already worthy. But there's a voice which is pulling us out of that beautiful state because it only tries to protect us. Nothing wrong, nothing, special. That ego voice only tries to protect us. And sometimes it's a reason that we start comparing ourselves with others. Sometimes it may be a reason that we start to feel jealous about somebody. And sometimes it's a reason that we are afraid to do something. And we only need to recognize that voice and to express some love to that ego self. Because the problem with ego is that it don't understand love really well. It only understands that it has a job to protect us. So you may lose something while you're walking closer to love, but you will never lose love. Even when you're following ego, you will never lose love because you are love. You're created out of love. And to me, it is a beautiful realization because it doesn't matter how deep we fall. It doesn't matter how much we feel separated. It doesn't matter how angry we are. It doesn't matter how sad we are. There's always that sensation of love present within us. And sometimes we just need to tap into it. Like what love feels like. What can I love right now? Or how much love is present within me? Have I ever been able to love? And is it possible to love one more time? Or one more time? Is it possible to love myself right now without any reasons why you shouldn't love myself? Is it possible to do something right now which could spark a bit love in my life? Because for some people, you just need to go barefoot on the grass field and experience that. For other people, it may be a long walk in nature. For other people, it may be a ride on a bike, and for other people it may be swimming in the ocean, or writing a poetry, or making a music with a certain instrument, or however. And sometimes we just need to catch ourselves that our internal voice is pulling us away from who we truly are, and that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a certain sense of awareness to recognize who we are and what's that ego trying to do right now. Because often people feel anger towards ego, or people feel like ego is bad, or people feel like there's something wrong with them because they're not in a state of enlightenment. Like, what is a state of enlightenment? Like, why should I be in a state of enlightenment if I'm already enlightened? If I'm alive, I'm enlightened. There's light within me, light which is giving life to me. So I'm already enlightened. I don't need to do anything else to be enlightened. So why we're searching so many reasons to experience that how can we call it a Christ consciousness, if we are made out of it? right? So it's actually finding what is disconnecting us from it, what is pulling us out of that state. And often it is a recognition of that inner voice, which is giving us reasons to be afraid of something, to worry about something. And of course, I find myself in those states as well. I find myself in a state where I'm thinking sometimes that what I'm doing is not, is kind of meaningless. What I'm doing is not making any difference on the world. And sometimes I feel like I'm unworthy, and sometimes, I feel sad about things, and those are all emotions, and emotions are beautiful. I've learned that feeling emotions, all kind of emotions, is always beautiful, because one emotion will always remind us of its opposite emotion. When we feel sad, we start appreciating happiness even more, right? When we feel hateful, we start appreciating love even more, and that connection and honesty. And then there's an energy of compassion, which is kind of uniting all those emotions together. And it's also a bridge between one and another. For example, you feel hate towards somebody, but at some point you awaken some courage and you express compassion towards that person, and suddenly you go from hate to understanding, and maybe from understanding to care, and maybe from care to kindness, and from kindness to love. And again, this bridge can become stronger by expressing more connection to one another and also to ourselves. So what I was the worst at was always compassion towards myself. And I truly want to be open with yourself and to use this present opportunity to also say, because often people see creators here on social media, like those people are perfect, like there's only good about those people. We find teachers, gurus, coaches, and all those different people, which on the outlook, maybe we look like we're always positive, or maybe we look like, we're always creative, always productive, or whatever it is. But the truth is, that's how we choose to express ourselves. The truth is that we are all the same. Like you and me, everybody, we are all the same. We always can choose how will we express ourselves. But the thing is that how we choose to express ourselves is also what we are practicing to be, who we are practicing to be. And I've learned in my life that if I choose to express more kindness, if I choose to express my honesty, if I choose to express my deep thoughts, if I choose to express my love for life to you, if I choose to express my passions and do something out of it, I've learned that I'm just becoming better at it. It's like practicing a sport. So, the difference sometimes may be experienced because somebody is choosing to be grateful and somebody is choosing to be hateful. And the choice may not always be conscious. So, the path of a greater awakening is to become more conscious of our daily choices. And that's what is coming up right now as a reflection of my life, to just recognize, am I becoming more conscious of my daily choices? Because if life is made out of tiny little choices we make on moment by moment basis, how much our life can shift if we become more conscious about the choices we are making on daily basis. So I want to remind you with this video to ask yourself how conscious you are about the choices you are making on moment by moment basis, and is there a space to be even more conscious, maybe in relationships, how present you are in your relationships with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends? How present you are? Or there are patterns you're repeating just because your mind is somewhere else? How present you are when you're alone with yourself, or you're always seeking certain distraction? Because those are the things which are building us and creating us. As same as the saying goes, you are what you eat, because the food is slowly transforming into the fuel, the energy for the cells. So the cells are made out of what we eat. It's same as what we do on moment basis. We are what we do, right? And if we become more conscious of what we are doing, we may become a pure consciousness in motion, right? A pure consciousness in a physical manifestation. So, of course, it is important to recognize why we are not conscious already. Because if we are consciousness, why we are not a pure embodiment of consciousness? And there comes our subconscious mind, which is designed from deep programs, from our environment and our ancestors. Again, these programs are not even ours, and our greatest job is, as we are moving through experiences, to become so aware of these programs that we can recognize which ones to let go of, which ones to turn off, and in what kind of areas we could design new programs which could be more beneficial and healthier for us. So I'm passionate about that part of life as well, as much as I'm passionate about creating, to recognize what programs are not serving me anymore. Because subconscious mind is a mind of repetition, mind of a habit, mind of doing something about we don't need to be fully aware of that we are doing it, like driving a car. You don't need to be fully conscious, but you still know what to do to drive that thing. Same is in the relationships. What if we would design a program which would help us to be more present in the conversations we have with people we love? And what would happen? Maybe we would just turn off that program of being a people pleaser, or we would turn off that program which is kinda helping us to respond out of anger, and we would install a program which would help us to be more kind, to be more understanding. And all it takes is just to be more aware while we're doing something. And sometimes it's required to learn something new, like to find examples that are already doing that, to see how kindness is actually behaving in this kind of situations. How somebody who is embodying kindness is responding to the words that my partner is using when she's angry or sad, for example. How kindness is responding to those energies. Or how passion is responding to the energies when we feel lazy. Or how sadness is responding to the energies when we are not feeling good about ourselves. Is there a way to, to truly disconnect these programs out of our minds and to design new ones? And it's all about repetition of conscious choices which are helping us to be a better human. And that is a beautiful process of transformation, a process where we are kinda detaching from illusions of our past, and we are creating a better future for our tomorrow in this present moment. And just if we just think about it deeply, how much work we have on ourselves to become who we want to be, and how much we are actually dedicating our lives to do that work, because this is our only job. We think our job is what is providing us money. No, that's what we do to make a living, and we can change that. It's not hard to change a job, even if it feels like, again, we go through many fears, quitting a job, finding a new one, or better said, creating a new one, because as we are the creators, we can create a new job like I did for myself. And I know many people that created jobs for themselves, as maybe you're doing it already, or maybe you're about to make it happen. We start with something we're joyful about, and we become more consistent with it. We design a certain vision of the future, of where we see ourselves in the next few years with doing that. And then we just follow that vision, and we ask ourselves, how much can I progress this process today? And again, we can ask ourselves how passion would behave in this process. How somebody who's truly passionate about life would behave in this process. And this is a deep thinking. So, we can look on life, on any aspect of life, that way. And it will actually bring us really, really far. And suddenly we will say, well, I've created my life. How I'm living right now, well, that's my design. Let's design something else. Let's see if we can visualize a better world. Let's see if we can visualize people which are actually really happy and excited for life all around us. And let's see what will happen. Because if the subconscious is a mind of the programs, let's install more of that higher energy into it, more of that healthier patterns into it, by consistent repetition of something which is truly raising our energy. Sometimes it's hard to break a pattern to design a new one, but all it takes is to follow your heart and to appreciate the changes and small things, as I mentioned at the beginning, which will help you to raise your energy. Because so often people say, yeah, well, I'm grateful, but nothing is changing. It's because you're not grateful enough, right? It's not a complicated thing to detach from all the worries and awaken a bit more gratitude. We can only feel one emotion at a time. So if you're not feeling gratitude, you feel something else. And work on it a bit harder until it will become easier. So my friends, this is it for today. Special message. Have a beautiful day. I'm celebrating with you, and I'm grateful to all of you for being a part of this beautiful community, AttractPassion. I feel blessed to have this opportunity to be here with you, and I'm truly grateful for all of you to be a part of this. I call it a project, but it's also a huge part of my life. So I'm deeply grateful to all of you for, it's been a while since we're doing that, if that's the right word. And I love the evolution of everything that I see here and everything that's happening, also everything that's happening in the world and everything that's happening in this community, all the messages. I'm thankful to all of you for all the messages I'm receiving on daily basis, even though I'm not answering to all of them, and I'm sometimes not able to answer all of your emails. I'm so grateful, and I'm reading messages, all of your messages. I'm reading them, but often I'm not replying to all of them. So I just want you to know that I see you all. I'm reading your comments, and I love you all. And thank you. Just thank you, my friends. So I will leave you here, and till next time, one love.